The benefits of getting married at certain ages. Here are the benefits of getting married in your 40s. Facing a fourth decade alone and single, you've decided to make it a priority for you to get married. Before you turn a half century old, 50, if you don't have kids now, they'll only be starting high school when you start collecting Social Security, or close to it, or retiring. Yikes. So, not to worry though, because you have a plan, and the universe has a plan for you. What's nice about getting married in your 40s, and you've decided, let's say, not to have kids. Or even if you did, you can appreciate them more for being in their teens or early 20s. Perhaps the person you marry has kids, and you become an instant step-parent. That's a great thing. I was raised by a stepdad, and he was cool. He was great. He filled the shoes of my real dad not being there. And he took us on as his own kids. And, when everybody is, just honest and straightforward and working hard, whether you're a student or you're an employee or you own your own business, you're an adult working for money and stuff like that, things work out right. It's called life, And perhaps the person you marry, like I said, has kids and you become an instant step parent. But talk about being excused from, diaper duty. Hooray! That's if you don't have kids or you don't want to have kids. Or, like I said, you marry into a situation where your spouse brings their kids with them, or you've got kids. One of you, you don't have to go through those baby years, the terrible twos and the teething and forget about that. Or you have the money and the desire to adopt. You could try that route and see how it goes. Otherwise, marrying someone with kids creates an instant family. Kind of cool. Remember, every human on earth needs mentoring in one shape or another as they grow up. Sure, it might be hard at first to build a bond with kids that might not be yours, per se, but give it time. Just when he or she needs someone to talk to, the child growing up, you might be right there to listen. Talk about instant appreciation for all those years and experience that you've been accumulating. A good thing. If or when the occasion ever arises and you're needed in that capacity, trust me, you will be. Kids like this, who come from divorced families, often have one bad apple or parent in the mix. Your kind heart and patient ear coming to this marriage, where there's kids involved, to listen to whatever is needed and to be discussed, sends appreciation for you through the roof. I've witnessed it, and I've been there. So be patient with them, the kids that are new to your world. And this little talk right now is about the kids coming into your life in your 40s, because you're getting married in your 40s, and you're marrying somebody who's got a kid already, 5 years old, 10 years old, 13, 15, etc. And again, I've seen this. In fact, one woman who was single, she was in her late 30s. She had a kid, a boy, who was probably in his teens. He didn't really have a father figure. And we were friends, the mother and I, just friends. I'm serious. We were just friends. That's a joke. But the point is she said, Bart, my son doesn't have anyone to talk to about these issues related to school, let's say. Is it okay if he talks to you? And I'm like, bring it on. And this has happened several times, because I've spoken to young men, let's say, and young women, throughout my life. I've had my friends say, Bart, you are always somebody we can talk to, or my kids can talk to you, and you're respectful to them. So in this particular case, I talked to the young man about school and grades. And after our 2-hour phone call, his mom called me and says, Bart, what did you say to my son? So I don't know. I just spoke to him and said what I did. Well, yeah, but he's like gung-ho about getting his grades up, and he apologized to the teacher and whatever the situation was. In another situation, and guys and gals, this is a really cool opportunity for you to, like I said, mentor or just be there for kids who are just looking for that hand up. Hey, I'm growing. I don't know about life. What am I supposed to do? And because we are in our 40s and we have this experience with life, we can say, here's how it's done. And in this particular case, because I had such an extensive athletic career in school, one of the parents reached out to me because they knew me from school. And they said, Bart, would you talk to my daughter about athleticism, going through the rigors and the disciplines of becoming a good athlete, because I think she's got potential. I don't know if it was ice skating or volleyball or something like that. But the disciplining and the, sacrifices are the same for men and women in their sports. And so I talked to her, the daughter. She was probably like 14, plus or minus. We had our talk for about an hour and a half on the phone. And from both the mother and the sister of the mother, both of them went to the same high school as I did. They both said to me, Bart, what did you say to her? So I don't know. I just listened. It's like an ABC. A, I listened. B, I responded with words that still turned the spotlight on the child. And then gave them C. I gave them homework. And I said, well, this is what you're going to do. Right? Yeah. Oh, that sounds great. I'm on it. And I'm like, all right. Talk to you later. So why am I saying this? Why am I sharing these stories? Because many men and women, as they get older in their 40s and 50s, if they did not have kids, they long to share their wisdom and experience with someone who can really appreciate it, like a kid. And it's just really cool when the kid fires back and says, and I remember this was said to me, gosh, I just feel so great. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, our talk, and this was like a kid who was 12 years old or something, 13. And I just feel so good. Thank you, Bart, for talking to me. And I'm like, no problem. I mean, I can give you more examples. And it's just really cool. So don't be afraid to marry someone with kids, especially if they're past the 2 or 3 year mark. You missed all the diapers. Yay! Anyhow, be patient with them. Have fun. Wait for them to come to you. Guys, if you marry a woman with kids, guys, you just shower that woman with love and romance and affection. And those kids are going to see that. And they're like, Mommy, our stepdad, who they may eventually just call him Dad. It's what happens. Dad's really he's taking good care of you, isn't he? I always see you smiling. I know, honey. That's right. Daddy does a good job. And, no disrespect to the real dad. Again, I've been there. Divorced kid, childhood divorce. Been there, seen it, done it, So, hey, when you're an adult, guys, marrying a woman with child, hey, guys, I'm talking to you guys, marrying a woman who has a child, this is an opportunity for you to be that coach, be that mentor. It's an awesome feeling. So that's some of the benefits of marrying in your 40s, because women usually have kids by now from some source or another, whether it was a previous marriage or a relationship or accident. Things didn't work out, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, in your 40s by now. Also, your finances hopefully are in order. Your credit is 7 or higher. So your state of mind is, hopefully you got a good state of mind. Your heart, all of that should be in good order. So you're ready to take the leap of faith into marriage sooner than when you were younger and had to vet someone for that position of spouse. Because you're older now. When I was younger, like 20s, I used to kind of have this 5-year kind of thing a little bit. And it really wasn't so much 5 years. It was really about 5 stages. The first stage is I get to see how we kind of get along. How are we doing? The first year, do we get along? Are we happy? Any arguments? No? Okay. The second stage, I get to see how you handle money, a job. Are you consistent, steady? Or are you a flakeoid? You drop in and out of jobs and making money and you get fired and you don't spend your money well. You don't save it well at all. Okay, you're not somebody I want to hang out with. By the third stage, or the third year, plus or minus, third stage, your drug habits come out. Your addictions, closet addictions, drinking wine, a bottle a night, smoking too much weed, smoking at all, doing drugs, whatever, they come out because you can't hide that stuff for too long. And by the fourth stage, if you've passed the first 3, the fourth is like, we're going back to number 1. How are we doing? Are we getting along? We've had a lot of good times together. We've been together for 2 or 3 years. This is going really well. And by the fifth stage, and again, this could be a 3-year program or a 4-year program because you're in your 20s, maybe your early 30s. What are you doing for the rest of your life? Hanging out with you? That's what I thought. You want to get married? But that's when you're younger. You've got to vet. because you don't have much history with these people. You got to grow with them. But in your 40s, people have history. How is their credit? How are their finances? How is their health? Do they take good care of themselves, or do they eat donuts every day? Pig out every weekend or whatever. So you can make decisions faster about a spouse because they've already got a resume of sorts, track record. And of course, by this age, you might also meet more people with their own set of mild health problems, financial debt, miscellaneous obligations, semi out of shape bodies, like I've said, gray hair, no hair, less hair, miscellaneous forms of baggage, excesses, past, current boyfriends, girlfriends calling them up for a drink every now and then. Hey, I haven't seen you in 10 years. You want to have a drink? Established habits and routines, good and bad, and so forth. Yikes. Still, don't be afraid. You probably have a lot in common with all these people. Trust yourself. Have a conversation. Start talking. And again, if you, and I'm just thinking out loud, if you both have bad credit, if you both are kind of bad with money, you could talk to each other, say, we're really bad at this, but I really like you. Why don't we take a class? Why don't we learn how to fix our problems? Hey, we're both a little overweight, but I really like your personality. You're a good person. Why don't we go to a gym? Let's work out together. These are things that can bond you. Turn the negative into the positive. Looking back, you might have fared better if you had gotten married 5 to 10 years ago, right? Maybe. Or you might have wound up divorced, separated, or widowed. And the same place you are in right now. Single, alone, and ready to rev up those love engines again. You will meet the right person to date, potentially have a long-term relationship with, and even get married. When the decision to marry finally happens, you feel relieved because you found your new love and you're embarking on all the adventures you've been putting off for years with this new love in your life as a married couple. Even in your 40s. The world is still your oyster. Take to life and start living it together. Every moment, every minute of the day. Make love in ways you know how to, and show forever your appreciation in ways you never could before because you never had someone like this before in your life. You're in love, you're married, and you're in your 40s, and you're loving it. And you've got a good 20 more years of life ahead of you, 50s and 60s. No, there is still a lot of life left. So, if you're in your 40s, and if or when the time comes, and you do find the love of your life, and you get married, well, congratulations.